Pagosa Springs, what is going on? This is another town council recap for the latest council meeting that happened last night, September 7th, in which they passed probably one of the biggest pieces of legislation or ordinances that they've passed in a long time. But before we get into that, let's be reminded of why we live here in Pagosa Springs. All right, today I'm drinking a Summer Bliss, a tropical wheat from New Belgium Brewery here in Colorado. I figured that's pretty fitting given that we are now done with summer, now that school is back in session. All right, back to the meeting last night on September 7th, 2021. The town passed probably the biggest piece of legislation that they have passed, maybe ever. Who knows? It depends on your opinion. This has been a very hot topic. They've talked about it for about a year now. They discussed various ideas, but we knew what was going to happen based on the first reading, which happened at the last council meeting in late August. And basically, STRs are no more. Well, kind of. If you currently own STR, you are grandfathered in and these rules do not apply to you anymore. But basically, they passed a few things regarding STRs. One of them is you have to own your home for at least 2 years before you can turn it into a STR or apply for that special use permit. But really, that doesn't matter because they put in a density cap of 10% across the residential areas of those within town limits. Now, again, this applies to those properties that are within the town boundaries. This does not apply to Pagosa Lakes Owners Association, that area, Hatcher Lake, Pagosa Lake, all that. That's actually county, not the city. So this does not apply to those areas. There are no restrictions on short-term rentals in the county right now. They discussed it in May, but they decided not to do anything about it. Pagosa, within the town boundaries, is the first to do anything about this. But within Pagosa right now, there's about 16% of homes that are short-term rentals. So therefore, because of the 10% density cap, basically there's not going to be any new short-term rentals, for the foreseeable future. Now, this ordinance can always be changed in the future, and they kind of actually discuss that, saying, hey, we may need to make some changes to this in the future. So that could happen, but for now, at least count on probably at least a good year or two that no changes will be made. Now, one gentleman asked a question. He's in the middle of renovating a property, and he's already applied for the permit. He just hasn't been granted the permit yet. And the town attorney came out and said, yes, anyone that's in the process of applying for a permit and has paid for that permit but has not received the permit yet, they will be grandfathered in as well. They will get that permit and they will be all good to go. There's one other piece of unfinished business. And when I say unfinished business, for those that do not know, unfinished business here in Pagosa Springs, an ordinance has to be passed twice in order to go into effect. So anything that was unfinished passed the first time around, and then the second time around, unfinished business is when it officially gets a chance to become law. And there was one other item of unfinished business, and it was Ordinance 957, which modifies our parking ordinance for one parking space for every 10 feet of frontage. All right, on to new business. This is where new ordinances, new laws get a chance to be first introduced to council, and they get the chance to vote on it for the first time. It doesn't become law until, again, that second time around. Resolution 2021-12 increases compensation for court-appointed counsels or public defenders from $80 to $100 an hour. This will increase the budget about $3,000 every year. Item number 2, Pagosa is putting in a geothermal line replacement as part of the McCade Creek project. The line runs right down the alley between South 5th and South 6th and serves the elementary school as well as a few other customers. They will also move power and communication lines underground, which will eliminate all poles east of South 6. And item 3 awards a janitorial services contract to Val's VIP Cleaning for $84,500. All right, and that was it for the council meeting. I just want to add one thing. I know as we engage in this online world, in this social media realm, that there's a lot of anger and frustration out there. And because of that format, it seems to just kind of feed that anger and frustration. But when we take a step back and really look at where we live, we have a lot to be grateful for. And that's why I include kind of these drone clips that I played earlier in this message. It's just a reminder of where we live, and that if these are our problems, our issues that we're having to deal with, man, we are certainly lucky to be where we are here in the mountains of Colorado. And I'm extremely grateful for that. So I want everyone to stay positive, stay respectful. This community as a whole is very respectful. The town council, they do listen, and they let people really speak their minds, and they don't try to be combative or debate the issues with the citizens. They just listen. And I'm very thankful that we live in such a respectful community, and it truly is different than a lot of the communities I have been a part of and where I came from. So I'm so thankful that I get to live here in Pagosa. You should be too. We live in a truly magical place. So until next time, thanks for watching. Cheers, Pagosa. Hey, thanks for watching. If you're looking to move to this magical town and need to buy or sell a home, I'd love to help guide you. And if you're a local business that would like to collaborate to make cool content, contact me. Cheers, Pagosa.